Okay, good morning. We are going to discuss about data visualization with the help of design thinking. Okay, so many times we have discussed about data visualization, but for this discussion we will be understanding data visualization with the help of design thinking, or as per design thinking how we should approach a data visualization process. Okay, so I hope you all know about what are the 5 different steps in design thinking. So can anyone tell me what is design thinking? Can anyone tell me what is design thinking, or what is your understanding about design thinking? How far you have understood, or at least can anyone tell me what are the steps in design thinking? Can anyone tell me this? 5 different steps in design thinking. Empathize, very good.
Ideate, prototype, test.
Yes. Okay. So we are having 5 different steps. First one is empathize. Second one is ideate. Third one prototype. Fourth one. Third one is prototype or some other thing. Third one is define. Fourth one is prototype. Fifth one we are going for test. Okay. So in general, what we mean by empathize means you have to understand in somebody else's perspective. Okay. So there is a common saying that to understand someone's feelings, or to understand someone's emotion, we have to wear their shoes. Okay. So if someone is coming with by telling their problem, okay, so அவங்களுடைய பொசிஷன்ல இருந்து நம்ம அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியதுதான் is empathizing process. Okay, so we have to be in that position and we have to visualize, or we have to think what is their requirement. So for any information visualization, the end process is viewed by the stakeholders or anybody who is going to make decision. Okay ma? So on the decision எடுக்கிற அந்த perspective இருந்து we have to approach any data visualization process. Okay, for example, I am going to analyze 1 year's performance. Imagine that I am a company owner, I am running a business. I want to analyze 1 year performance of a particular of my business. Okay, so an information or a data visualization personnel should think in my view as a owner, what are the informations I need to understand the performance about my business in that particular year. So what will be my expectations, நான் எந்த விஷயத்தை எதிர்பார்க்கிறேன் அப்படிங்கற மாதிரி ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்ல we need to start. Okay, so that is the idea behind empathize. Next, second stage is define. So define, the key word is problem statement. Okay, so we will be having a lot of issues to take. Okay, so there is a famous saying that almost 90% of time we need to spend in creating a problem statement. For the entire life process, 90% of the time is spent on problem statement. Once the problem statement is clearly defined, very correctly, then it is easy for us to move towards solution. Okay va? நிறைய நேரத்துல problem identify பண்றதுலயே we are facing struggles. Okay, so in a visualization process, what we are going to do, for example, I want to have a discussion about past 1 year's performance. Okay va? So the 1 year performance and the data, what are the data I need? Okay va? So under the clear define, we have to define and we need to make the presentation, or we need to create visuals. Okay, so if I am presenting the data which are not needed for my decision making process, certain data are not needed. So if I am going to project that data, then it may not be useful. Okay, so first is your empathizing process. Second one is define. In define stage, we need to define our problem statement very clearly. Okay, so what is the third stage? Ideate. Ideate means, so in that word itself we are having one more word called ideate. Okay, so suggesting different solutions. Okay, for any solution, sorry, for any problem, you may have many solutions. Ultimately, we want only feasible solutions. So, what is feasible solution means? Best or appropriate solutions. Okay, so that is we need to find those solutions. That solution can be found by having a discussion. Okay, so we have to sit in a group and we need to have a lot of discussion. Another brainstorming அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Everybody will be coming up with different ideas. Okay, so we need to analyze all those ideas and we need to select which is the best possible solution, feasible solution. Fourth one is prototype. What do you mean by prototype? Testing with limited facility. Or else for application the beta version test பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, so for example, a production company before launching a product to common public, they may give to their own employees. Okay, for example, there is a soap company which is launching new soap means there is a possibility that they will manufacture the soap and the company oda employees மட்டும் கொடுப்பாங்க. நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு அதோட feedback சொல்லுங்க அப்படினு. Okay, so these components are called prototype. Last one is test. Test means you can understand it as a getting feedback from customers. Okay, so we will be collecting feedback from customers. In feedback we may have both positive and negative, both constructive, pros and cons. Okay, so we need to analyze all those things and we need to iterate to next level. Okay, so this is how you need to understand your data visualization process with respect to design thinking. First one is empathize, second one is define, third one ideate, fourth one